Well, hello, my friends. I know it's been a minute, but I'm back. It's been about a month. Don't judge me. I'm here. We're just going to dive on into this thing. Not here to waste your time. So, today's topic is a topic that anyone and everyone can benefit from. What I want to discuss is how you can, or I say one or two ways you can potentially get more money out of your current employer. Now, these methods, they could be considered unconventional. They may be frowned upon. Hell, they might get you fired, to be honest with you, but it's still something to discuss. Some of you may have used these routes before to get more money. Some of you may have lost a job before by doing these things. Let's just talk about it, okay? So I know an individual who secured a $40,000 pay increase just this week. $40,000 pay increase. And that pay increase was almost a 50% pay increase. And the way this individual did that was they obtained, received, however they got it, an offer letter from a direct competitor of their current employer. That is tricky. I don't know if this person applied to a position or if maybe a recruiter reached out to them trying to get them to join their team. In any case, they went to their current employer and they said, hey, y'all paying me X, they're going to pay me Y. What you going to do? And they successfully received a counteroffer to match, was it a match or exceed the offer from the direct competitor? And if y'all hear my daddy whistling, just act like y'all don't hear nothing, because he back there and he jolly. He just whistling his life away. So this person was able to receive a $40,000, which is an entire salary for some people, pay increase. Okay. Now the way it worked out for this individual, it is they are a valued asset at that company, right? Some people may question that because they say, well, if you were a valued asset, why weren't they paying you that before? We ain't even gonna get into all of that, right? So you weren't getting that before, but the minute of the threat of you being taken, they came and they did what they probably should have been doing, right? It's amazing how that works. That works in many different facets of life. We only want what somebody else want a lot of times, you know? Someone's trash is another one's treasure. That works too. So that was probably the most favorable outcome that person could have had, because that's not the only outcome they could have had. Their current employer could have said, you know what? Oh, that's cool. You've been over there talking to company Y. Well, why don't you go over there and stay with them? We don't want you anymore. You're disloyal. Take that offer, go on about your business. Deuces. They could have done that. They would have been well within their rights to do that. It would be shitty, but they could do it within their legal rights. They could. In Georgia, we are an at-will state, and most states are. And what that means is your company can terminate you for any reason, and they don't have to give you a reason, to be honest. However, they just have to not terminate you for something that's protected in the eyes of the law. That means you can't fire somebody because they're black. You can't fire somebody because they're white. You can't fire somebody because they're Christian, Muslim, or whatever a person may be. You can't fire somebody because they're pregnant. Those are things that are protected statuses. They can fire you because they don't like you. That's fine. As long as those reasons for disliking you aren't because you're black, Asian, white, Jewish, Christian, whatever, and protected, they can fire you for whatever reason they want or for no reason at all. They can fire you because they might feel like you're disloyal for even speaking with a competitor. So I'm going to say this. If you entertain an offer or a conversation with a competitor, be careful. Be very careful. Because let me throw in something else there. Let me throw in something else there. Get close. Listen to me. When you're speaking to this competitor, you don't know how shiesty they are. They already know that you probably work for a company where you signed a non-compete. Some of us have to sign non-competes. I have to sign one. That competitor could go tell your current employer or let it spread through word of mouth so that your current employer just happens to find out and then let your ass go. That way they feel like they have leverage to scoop you up and be like, hey, I heard you don't got a job no more. You might as well come on over here. And that would in fact lower the offer that they give you. I know that seems far-fetched, but shit happens. I'm telling you this as a person in HR, this kind of stuff happens every day. Business can be cutthroat. So you better CYA. And for those of you who don't know, CYA means cover your ass. That's because competitor relationships can be tricky. You don't know who knows who. They may be competitors in business, but they may be friends behind closed doors, especially if you work in a technology company like I do. Tech companies, they all know each other. They all sit on different boards. Their kids all play on the same teams. This person's married to that person's sister's auntie's cousin. Be real careful with who you are having conversations with and who you're entertaining offers from. So now let me throw in something else again, right? Just to spice it up a little bit. Now this person who I'm speaking of secured that $40,000 offer, right? We only assume that this person was being truthful about having said offer from a direct competitor. Now, is their manager or is the HR company for their current employer going to say, or let's say HR company, is the HR person going to say, let me see that offer letter just to verify that this is accurate? Are they going to do that? Most are not. However, this other scenario that I was going to present to you was, what if you don't actually have an offer from a competitor? What if you don't have an offer from anyone and you just want to see if something sticks by telling your current employer that you have an offer that's higher and you want to see if they're going to counter? Tricky, right? It's lying. It's manipulating the market. It's manipulative, point blank, period. Could it work out for you? It might. However, if it doesn't and they say you're disloyal, we don't want you, now you look a little crazy because now you just don't have a job because you didn't have an offer to begin with, and now you don't have the job that you originally had where you were trying to get paid more. All these different scenarios run through my mind. Just naturally as an HR person, I'm like, ooh, did they really even get an offer from another job? Or were they counting on you being scary and giving them what they asked for? Because if you ask me, there are circumstances where the person was probably underpaid. They knew they were underpaid. And yes, they went to test out the market and see if they could get an offer somewhere else. But there are also scenarios, like I explained, where a person doesn't really have an offer and they just want to try you and see what happens. If it sticks, then it sticks and they've come up all in one day. If it doesn't stick, then what next? They're going to ask for the job back? I don't know. Are you going to keep them? I don't know. Should you even stay somewhere where you feel like you're undervalued and underpaid? Probably not. But we got bills, so we're going to stay. Well, I mean, I'm the queen of quitting a job without a job. But I mean, I got a house now. I can't really be doing it. Well, no, I did it last time without a job. You know, it's tricky. You gotta know how to play things. I did quit my last job without a job. I had a new job offer 4 days later, but it's sticky. It's tricky and it's sticky, and you got to plan accordingly. And if there is no net to catch you, you better land on your feet because it's a cold world out here. It is a cold world. And the world owes you nothing. The world does not owe you understanding. The world does not owe you a damn thing. So just make sure if you play those cards that you have some fallback. I don't know. But it's interesting to me. I mean, I'm happy this person secured this additional bag, which I said is like an entire another salary. I mean, are teachers even making $40,000 these years? Which is crazy that they're so underpaid. But if you're in a position of what you feel like is a position of power and you feel like your company is undervaluing you, why stay? If they give you the money and you just had to ask and you had that money 30 minutes later, which is exactly what happened in this scenario, what does that tell you? Does that tell you that they've been underpaying you this whole time? Does that tell you that? Because to me, that's what it says. But you know, it's a sticky situation because they could have just said no. And then what? You're still sitting there with this other offer. I guess you leave at that point. But there's also, you know, the evil you know versus this new evil. I'm just saying that. I'm not saying that the company this person works for was a bad company, but it just begs a lot of questions. You got what you wanted, so what next? And as an HR person, are we going to continue to constantly jump through hoops to meet this person's expectations? That's what their HR department is probably thinking. Is their manager now always going to say, okay, what can we do to keep you? What can we do to keep you? It's all around an interesting, I'm not going to say a good look, but it's an interesting look. It's an interesting look, and it just begs more questions. That's all I'm saying. But here's what I wanted to ask you. Have any of you ever actually played the whole counteroffer game? Have you gone to your employer and said, I have an offer for this from this company, can you match it? Did your current or previous employer meet what you asked for? And if so, did you stay after that, or did you sit back and go, damn, if they just jumped and paid me this now, why didn't they give it to me before? What did you do? I want to know what your scenario was and kind of how you dealt with that, because I find the topic to be very interesting. It's very interesting to me, and I don't think I've ever personally gone, well, maybe I did maybe one time. I had to think about that. I don't think I've ever said, hey, this company's offering me this. Are you going to meet it? I don't think I ever played that card, or at least I didn't play it in that way. I have said, you're paying me this. Market research says that I am worth this. What's up? And they were like, we don't think you deserve that much. And then I was like, I don't work here no more. Bye. So I played it that way, where it was just like, here's X, here's Y. You line up my criteria. This is what the market says you should be paying me. You're underpaying me at least $15,000. What we gonna do? And there was not a good answer. And so I just was like, I'm good. Bye. You can do it that way. Numbers don't lie. Numbers don't lie, right? At least they shouldn't. I don't know. But I find the whole thing to be, it's almost like a little social/science experiment. It's a science experiment. It could backfire, like any science experiment. It could backfire and blow your face off. Or you can create something wonderful and new, like a bigger bag. So I don't know, y'all. You let me know. You let me know in the comments. If you're not already following me on Instagram, come on and check me out. It's pitch.hr. I'll put the link below. That way you can just go directly there instead of a wrong page. On that note, that's all I have on that topic. Drop some comments below and let me know if you've dealt with this situation or not. I think this is an ongoing conversation, and I would love to learn more about your personal experiences. So that's it for today. I'll see you all in the next video, and I am looking forward to being back and giving you all some new content. So see you all next time. Bye.